Well, here we are, another wonderful day at the Rock House Music Alliance, and I'm sitting here with the first fantastic artist I've ever thrown a beer at, Mr. Clint Park.
He threw it right at me.
Yep. Sorry about that, Clint. I was
5 seconds into the podcast, and he
photo-
throws a beer in my lap.
man, I'm an idiot. I got the lid on this one, so we're safe until I open it.
Well, might as well open it, get to drinking it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I
Anyway,
like a good old Shiner box.
Shiner Box the thing.
Shiner box. We need a sponsor.
Yeah,
Shiner
we need sponsors over here. Man, Clint, we're glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here, buddy.
And you've just got all kinds of wonderful music out there, and we want to talk about that and hear some about your songwriting, how you got into music, and just kind of go through and let the fans know some things that they might not get to catch you at a normal show and stuff like that, you know. So I reckon let's start out. How'd you get into music? What was your draw?
Well, my dad, mostly. My dad, songwriter, and played music. It was just in my family all the time. My dad, I'm from right outside of Dallas. So me growing up, my dad was playing all those clubs in Dallas and Arlington and all those, Fort Worth. And so it was just always around. Always had musicians around me. And, I just picked it up, and I started playing drums when I was probably 10. And then just went from drums to guitar to piano to, just learning all of them. And I started really singing when I was probably about 14.
Yeah.
And I started writing songs when I was probably 17 or 18.
Do they make an instrument that you can't play, sir?
Yeah, there's a few. You don't want to see me on a fiddle or there's a few I can't play.
I've seen you play all different kinds of them. I'm like, man, and the thing
I
is,
can play all of them half-ass. I'm not real good on any of them.
hell, I don't know about that. You're pretty damn good.
I can work my way around them. But yeah, it just kind of started like that, and I played drums for years and years, all the way through high school, and I was playing drums and singing. We were playing, I started playing clubs when I was 14.
Yeah.
And, playing clubs that were 21 and over, shouldn't have been in, but, just kind of like that, man. And it was just always around. And then, me and my dad started playing together when I was probably 19 or 20. We started doing just local gigs, just us two on acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
And went from there. And by the time I was 21 years old, Tim Whipperman at Warner Chapel, he was the president of Warner Chapel at the time. He came to a writer's night and saw us one night. And the next day we were signed to a publishing deal. And 6 months after that, Capitol Records signed me.
Okay.
I was 21 years old, maybe 22.
Yeah.
Signed me and Dad together. That was a father-son thing. Just stuck with that. I was over there for 3 years. They never really could figure out what we were trying to do. I mean, it was times were changing in Nashville. I was there for the change.
Now, what year was this?
This would have been 2003 or 4 probably.
Got you.
And I stayed with Capitol for about 3 years. They never did anything. And then we actually asked off the label. They let us go. And then about a year later, we signed with Lyric Street Records, which Lyric Street was a Disney-owned label. But they had artists like Rascal Flatts, Bucky Covington was over there, Trent Tomlinson, Love and Theft. I mean, we were still trying to do, I guess you consider, a little outlaw music.
Yeah.
And you're stuck in the middle of artists like Rascal Flatts and Love and Theft and those guys. More power to them, whatever. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
But we were stuck in the middle of that shit, and so all the A&R departments
didn't know what to do.
They had no idea what to do with us.
Yeah.
That's you deal with A&R coming out of Nashville, and most of these A&R guys are 25 years old. They just graduated from Belmont. They don't know dick about country music.
Yep.
And this is what I had to deal with.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. So we get really close to. We finally cut a record over there, though. I will say that the vice president, Doug Howard, really stuck behind Dad and I. We did a full record over there, We go out and start doing a radio tour. We're traveling all over. I'm like, we're probably a month away from our first single being put out. They call us home. I think we were maybe been out in Seattle, whining, dining radio people and shit. And they call us home, and we thought we did something wrong.
Yeah.
We fly back home. Everybody has a big powwow meeting. The label shut down.
Oh.
So
Man.
like 13, maybe, it's 10 to 13, 10, 11, 12, 13 artists, whatever it was. Everybody lost their record deal that day.
Gone.
Just done.
Yeah.
And I'm a month away from my first single being put out.
Yeah.
You talk about just a kick in the nuts.
Bad luck.
Oh,
Oh, man.
My timing in the music business has always been terrible. I've always had the worst timing. But, after that, man, I kind of gave the big F you to Nashville. I was done with them.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that shit, tired of, cowing down to just, I don't know. I met a lot of cool people.
And I guess
But it's like any business. There's still a lot of fucking weasels out there.
Yeah.
That I could not tolerate. I'm terrible at kissing ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've never been like a real cliquey guy. I kind of wanted to stay in my own lane. I never got into, there were certain songwriters and they all clicked together and they all wrote together and they would try to bring me in and I'd write a few songs with them and then, I just never stayed with that clique and it probably hurt me in the long run.
Yeah.
But, that was just me. I mean, I just never was.
Well, and it's hard to be disingenuine too. If you're
Right.
trying to fit yourself into a mold that is not you,
Right.
well, why even do it?
And I mean, I was coming out about the time, let's see, when I first got my record deal with Capitol, like Dierks Bentley was just coming out. So how that relationship, I got to meet Dierks a few times, but Dierks' producer, Brett Beavers, ended up producing Dad and I on Capitol. So Dierks had just come out with What Was I Thinking? And Brett came over and helped us produce what we did on Capitol, which was like 5 or 6 songs. And but Brett's one of those guys that had a good relationship with. He's one of the good ones,
Yeah.
We got in writing with guys like Steve Bogard. Steve wrote "Carrying Your Love with Me," wrote a bunch of Dierks Bentley hits, and had a few Rascal Flatts hits. Another one, just awesome dude, ended up writing a ton of songs with him.
Yeah.
So I got positive stuff out of it for sure.
But you just felt like you didn't necessarily fit in there, so you went and found your own way.
Well, everything was at that time. Like I said, I was going through that change in Nashville was there. Here comes Jason Aldean. Here comes Luke. Here comes. I didn't want to do that shit.
Yeah. Wanted to go a different direction.
I wasn't down with what they were doing.
Yeah.
And once again, it hurt me, but it was one of them things. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I'm gonna say the song "Chillin' on a Back Road" like that shit.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I always wanted to play songs that I knew I could play when I was 70 years old.
Yeah, and that's something that once you got a hit out, you're going to be playing that thing.
No shit.
Forever.
So what are these guys going to do when they're 70 years old on the Opry singing "Country Girl Shake It for Me"?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's going to get a bit weird, ain't it?
Yeah, can you imagine? Like, I never wanted to go down that road. More power to those guys. They've made a shit ton of money, but whatever. I just couldn't see myself doing it. I didn't want to do it, and I wasn't going to do it. And like I said, I was pretty bad at kissing ass down in Nashville, and that didn't go over well with a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of them, too. So, but it is what it is.
Well, and we talked about...
I've made my peace with it.
Yeah.
And then after losing that second record deal, man, I started playing clubs a lot. I knew I could make a living playing clubs.
Yep.
I've done it all my life. So I just started playing out 4 nights a week, doing the 9 to 1 o'clock in the morning. And
Yep.
I my kids were little then, so my wife would come home from work, and I'd be leaving for the club, and then, you know, she'd leave for work next morning. I'd keep the kids all day, and then just
over and over.
Over and over
Yeah,
and
the
over.
grind, as they call it.
And that shit got to wearing you out.
Yep.
It wore me the hell out. And then that's how Ward came into the picture. Ward and I were buddies. His second wife, Rachel, second or third, shit, I can't even remember how many times that boy's been married.
I've been married 3.5 times.
No, his second wife, Rachel, we were good buddies. And they ended up moving in pretty much across the street from me and my wife, Holly. And so Ward and I started writing songs. And then, you know, I never thought anything would come of it.
Yeah.
We were just writing. We're just
a
goofing
couple of
on.
boys hanging out. And
yeah, sitting
writing.
over there, and Ward would smoke some weed. I'd drink some whiskey, and we'd write some songs. You
Yeah.
know? And then, you know, a few years later, Ward calls me, and he's like, man, I've been out on the road doing this stuff. He's like, come join my band. I didn't know how crazy, like how serious it was at the time. I just thought they were out just road dogging and, like, you know, I mean, it's hard as hell anyways.
Yeah.
I really didn't know about the whole Cody Jinks thing taking off and all this shit. I knew nothing about independent music. I was just playing every night and listening to my old Willie Nelson records.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I did. And he called me, and I said, man, I think it was May or something of that year, whatever year it was, 17, 18. And I said, man, I'm really busy right now. Just my normal gigs, but I was lined up.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to take a leap and go out on the road when I had all this shit lined up.
Yeah, and you don't want to leave that behind.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know how that other gig's going to go.
You don't know if you're going to get those back either.
Yeah.
You know? And so I said, man, I don't think I can do it. And went through the summer. I was miserable doing all those gigs. And he called me back in like October. He's like, man, we got something going out here. Come out with me. You can open up every show and play in the band. And me and my wife talked about it. She's like, well, you're fucking miserable right now.
Yeah.
She's like, just go do it.
Yeah, try something, right?
Yeah. And so we went out, and, you know, first year with Ward it was interesting. I mean, you'd have shows where there was 5 people, and, you know, then you might, you know, you'd have a couple hundred at a really good show.
Yeah.
You know, we went out. I mean, god dang, I remember the first big one we went out on the West Coast. Started out like Oregon, and yeah, I think we started in Oregon. We were gone for like almost 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I was away from home. I'd never done that shit.
You just out, yeah.
I've never been gone that long, you know.
Yeah.
And it was that was an interesting one. Ward came back broke as shit. We shouldn't have been out there. You know, they put us on this big long tour, and I mean, Ward, he lost his ass on that tour because I mean, nobody knew who he was at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and it was tough, but I stuck with Ward through the all the way up to the pandemic, and then just opening up his shows, his got bigger and bigger. So opening up his shows gave me an opportunity to kind of branch out on my own and do my own thing, and I've been doing that ever since. Which I joined back with Ward this year. He just needed a bass player, so I went out and
yeah. Which cool story. That's the first time I saw you was opening for Ward. Y'all were down at the Shed. In
great
Knoxville.
Place. I love that place.
Yeah, Shed is awesome.
Yeah.
Man, what a damn thing.
Oh, I love it.
God.
Was it the inside or outside?
It was on the outside.
It was.
Yeah. So we got there, and of course,
Charles Wesley with us?
No, it's just you and Ward.
Oh, it was? Okay.
This has been a couple years back.
Okay.
It's been a couple.
I remember us
years
doing
back.
one there with Charles Wesley Godwin.
But you were up there opening the show, and I'm like, who in the hell is this dude? I was like, man, he's got some vocals on him. And I was telling Kristen, I'm like, make sure we find out who he is. So we're all excited, and you put on a hell of a show, as you always do. And getting ready for, Ward, they're doing the changeover and everything. Ward's coming out. And I'm like, well, he's playing bass for Ward. I'm like, shit, is there anything he can't do? I mean, did you drive the van that evening too?
That was our agreement from the start. Now this year I didn't do it as much, but those first few years he said, as long as you're out here with me, you're going to open up every show. Which, hell, it made it easy. You didn't have to look for openers. Everybody knew I was there. It just made it so much easier to deal with. You know, the sound checks made it easier. You didn't have other bands coming in and, you know, tearing your shit up and having to, you know.
Well, and the format works well too, because y'all's music, it makes for a damn good show. You know, if they like Ward's stuff, they're going to like yours. Like yours, they're going to like his.
Right. Sure.
You know, so man, that's how I came to find you specifically, was opening for Ward, and then I got on your Spotify and got to researching, and boy, I was hooked in. I'm all the way down the rabbit hole.
I need some more of it. I got to get some new music out. I've been kind of late. I had a real busy summer, and I wanted to get in this winter and cut some new stuff, and I've just kind of gotten lazy. That damn road will wear you away.
Oh, it gets It
I mean,
gets
you know, you travel too. It's tough.
Yeah. Now, so we talked about you went out with Ward and wasn't many people there. Fast forward a little bit, you guys have a song on TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right now.
And it was just strange. We had wrote Bad Apple, me and Ward and brother Greg Jones, and we were over at Ward's house one day. Ward had the idea. Oh shit, my phone's going crazy.
Oh no.
Ward had that idea. He had actually said, "Man, I want to write this idea." He said, "I wanted to say about a fucked up family." And I said, "Well, we can't say that." He said, "Why not?" I was like, "Dude, we're not going to say that. Let's change. We got to figure out a way to." And so we were going to do it real tongue in cheek, make it funny.
Yeah.
And we got to writing this thing, and we started getting deeper and deeper, and we were looking at each other, and we're like, damn, this thing's getting dark, because this family is really messed up. You know, the version that I do, that I recorded and that I do live is more how we wrote it. Very bluesy, and Ward went in and kind of slicked it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I like his version too, you know, but I don't know. Ward never liked my blues shit.
Granddaddy was a gambler. He never ever seemed to win. He made a bad bet with the wrong man. We never saw Granddaddy again. And Granny ran off with a grifter. She didn't even leave a note. Those kids had to raise each other, and that's about all she wrote. Well, mama ain't gonna quit drinking, and brother's gonna always be broke. Sister won't never do nothing because she's too damn high on dope. Well, and I can't judge nobody, 'cause it ain't much better for me. I'm just another bad apple that didn't fall far from the tree. Mama walks around in a bathrobe, sucking slowly down all day. Brother goes down to the dog track to piss a welfare check away. Sister's on her back in the Bowery, just enough to get her fix. She couldn't make enough turning tables, so she turned to turning tricks. Well, mama ain't gonna quit drinking, and brother's gonna always be broke. And sister won't never do nothing because she's too damn high on dope. Well, and I can't judge nobody, 'cause it ain't much better for me. I'm just another bad apple that didn't fall far from the tree. Well, and I can't judge nobody, 'cause it ain't much better for me. I'm just another bad apple that didn't fall from the tree. I'm just another bad apple that didn't fall from the tree.
Oh, I try to blues up everything.
If I had your voice, I'd blues everything too.
I mean, that's what I do. I try to blues up everything.
Which that's a format that number one, that's what drew me in was you've got that bluesy soulful.
Yeah.
You just punch at a damn song.
A lot of cigarettes and Jack Daniels. Playing them smoky ass clubs.
Them old smoky clubs, yeah.
I mean, I've had this. My voice has been like this as long as I've been singing, though. I mean, even when I was, 15 singing, I always pull off, more bluesy, more of a rock and roll sound. That's kind of what I want to get to on this new stuff that I'm going to go in and cut. I'm going to try to get a little more rocking.
Yeah.
And maybe a little more bluesy. I mean, the stuff I try to cut. I mean, I try to keep it country, but I want to go in and do some rocking shit on my next one. Just see what happens.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's the good thing about being an independent artist. You can do whatever the hell you want to.
Do what you want to do and let it be what it is. I mean, I'm excited about it. I want to hear it when it happens.
I've been thinking about stuff I need to cut and songs that I've got, and I need to get them down. Like I said, I've just kind of gotten lazy.
Yeah,
I'm getting old. And
getting old.
I don't give a shit.
Cantankerous.
Yeah.
Then you got assholes throwing beer at you from time to time. What the hell's up with that?
Oh hell. You ain't the only one that's ever done that. I promise you.
Well, here we are. Another wonderful day at the Rock House Music Alliance, and I'm super excited to announce that we have the one and only world famous Mr. Clint Park in the studio. Cut. That's a good way to start.
Oh, dang.
You got any crazy stories from shows or anything that we can tell on here?
I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, you see crazy ass fights and shit like that. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Ward's shows were always pretty tame because if anybody was talking, he'd stop the damn show and say, "Get the hell out" or whatever. So everybody knew, like,
Yeah.
Ward don't like people talking during the show.
Yeah.
He's pretty pissed. And so his shows were always pretty tame. You never saw really anything crazy. Now, growing up in those bars and stuff, there was always fights, and
Yeah.
some of them stages needed chicken wire on them sometimes, but there was nothing really stands out. Just normal shit.
Yeah, just normal.
Yeah, you playing in bars all the time, you gonna see some crazy stuff.
Yep. I've seen my share of the
Yep.
stuff, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go again.
Yeah, I mean the place I grew up playing in. I mean, I played there every Saturday night for a long time. It went through a bunch of damn names and owners.
Yeah.
And every time they'd hire me again to come play Saturday night, I'm like, I felt like I was the common denominator while the damn club was shut.
You was in there creating a ruckus.
Oh shit! I probably went through 7 or 8 different name changes, but it stayed the same. As far as the atmosphere stayed the same, just smoky old honky tonk.
Yeah.
And we had a kick ass band. And we played there every Saturday night, man. I had some damn good times in there.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun. My dad still plays there.
Does he?
Yeah, he plays. I think he plays there once a month. It's Last Call. It's called Last Call down in Gallatin. That's fun ass bars. One of my favorite gigs I ever played.
Now that must be cool playing music with your dad.
Oh, for
getting to do that. How's that feel with you?
Man, he's just. You talk about. I mean, if it's got strings, he can play it.
Yeah.
He was playing steel guitar at 6 years old.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I mean, he can play fiddle, he can play banjo,
Yeah.
He's a hell of a damn guitar player. Monsters. I mean, he's one as far as country ballads go. He's probably my favorite country ballad singer. Him and Hank Jr. I mean, they got a very similar voice. Those dudes, when it came to country ballads, they were my favorite.
Yeah.
And Dad's a hell of a songwriter. I mean, I wrote a lot of songs with Dad. He had a #1 hit. If you know Easton Corbin, that song "Roll With It," baby, let's roll with it.
Yep.
Don't think about it. My dad wrote that.
Really?
So
Okay.
that was a #1 song.
Nice.
And that's my phone is going nuts. I'm sorry, I thought I had it on silent.
Hey, no problem.
But he, yeah, that was back too. And Dad, you know, he struggled in the music business, just like it was just a roller coaster ride for him too. I mean, he had a record deal back in the mid '90s with another guy, Randy Archer, and they had a duo called Archer Park that was on Atlantic Records, and had a song that was like I think it went top 20 on Billboard, their first single, and then it kind of fizzled out, and they lost that deal. And then, you know, by the time I was 21, that's when me and him kind of joined up, started doing it together. But you know, it all back in 2011 is when he had that #1 hit, so everything kind of paid off for him.
Yeah.
That was a huge deal.
Now, would you say that's helped you with your dad being in the business and being able to kind of give you advice or mentor you, or do you do the thing of like, Dad, I'll do it myself, I'll do my way, or
No,
how's that work?
I mean, Dad's kind of like I am. I mean, he kind of did it his own way. He wanted to do it his own way, as far as the path of the music we were trying to get out there.
Yeah.
There wasn't much changing his ways. You know, we write a certain way. This is the way we want it to sound. And if you don't like it, oh well.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why we had such a tough time in Nashville. I mean, I think we had the talent to make it, but I don't know. We're just kind of our stubbornness steered people away.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it is what it is, man. Like I said, I've made peace with it, and I still got buddies down in Nashville that I talk to all the time, and it's all good. You know, I guess I could have been rich and famous, but
Well, I mean, I saw you play the Ryman, so
Yeah,
it don't get much better than that right there, does it?
and that's ultimately that. You know, talk about payoffs.
Yeah.
Like you struggle and struggle and struggle, and then something like that hits, and it feels like, you know, I don't guess not like I've arrived because I'm still not famous, but doing something like that is like, yeah, I could die tomorrow and be all right.
How'd that feel walking in there knowing what you was going to
It's
do?
nuts, dude. And see, I played there once before. I was managed by a guy, John Doris, and John goes back to like managing way back in, like, he was managing Don Williams back in the 70s and shit. But at the time, he was managing Blake Shelton. This was like mullet Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
You know, when he was, This Is Austin and all that stuff. I think Old Red, he was managing at that time. But Blake was doing a fundraiser at the Ryman and asked me and Dad to come do one of the opening slots for him. So I'd played there before.
Gotcha.
But at the time, I was 25, partying my ass off.
Yeah.
Didn't really soak it in.
Didn't hit as hard.
Right.
Yeah.
This time was different, you know, because I was there with my buddies, and it was packed, and you know, that was all Blake Shelton fans. They didn't know who the hell we were. Everybody in that place knew who we were.
That was a hell of a show,
So
man.
that felt a hell of a lot different.
Yeah.
You know? So that time, man, oh God, it was like when we got done, Ward and I were backstage, and we were just kind of sitting there quiet, and he's like, it's almost like somebody killed your dog, because you know, it's like, you don't know if you're ever gonna be back. Like, you know, it's just like, oh.
It's like, well, we did it, but now it's over with, right?
It was over like that. It was over so quick. But oh man, what an experience though. Pretty neat, man. I've been fortunate enough to play some really cool places. I've been to Red Rocks, but I haven't got the chance to play there. That's one that I've always wanted to do. Ward went to Red Rocks, but at the time I wasn't in his band, so I didn't go.
Yeah.
But like, you know, we got to play the Troubadour in L.A., you know, shit like that you'd think never. Billy Bob. We just played Billy Bob's.
Oh yeah, Billy
I grew
Bob's
up
is
in
cool.
Billy Bob. Like,
Yeah.
shit, I remember going there when I was a kid with my family. Like, I mean, we went all the time.
Yeah.
I say all the time, but we went to certain shows. Like, I mean, if Asleep at the Wheel was playing at Billy Bob's, we were probably going.
Yeah.
You know. So I had been there a bunch of times, never got to play there, and we just did that this summer. So yeah, you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
It's all paid off. I mean, I may not ever get rich off of it, but I've got to experience a lot of cool shit, man.
Well, and that's part of it. I mean, you've got a damn cool job, right? You get to go around and play your music the way you want to play it to your fans, and that's got to be just amazing. Now,
It is.
the road time gets, that windshield time can wear you down, and
It'll get you.
always being gone and all that. But we're super glad you do it because you've got some really fantastic material out there. One of them I want to talk about, that's my favorite that you do, is Let It Burn.
Well, I've watched you suffer long enough, and I've seen you mourning for lost love. Ain't no use in hanging on to a thing that's dead and gone. Ain't nothing but a wall behind that door. So what are you waiting for? Go on and take that broken dream and soak it in whiskey and gasoline. And what good's a bridge to somewhere you know you can't return? Strike a match and light it up and let it burn. Quit trying to roll away the stone. It's been standing there too long. Yeah, go ahead and give up hope. Let it all go up in smoke. 'Cause you ain't losing nothing that ain't already gone. It's time for moving on. Go on and take that broken dream. Soak it in whiskey and gasoline. And what good's a bridge to somewhere you know you can't return? Strike a match, light it up, let it burn. What good's a bridge to somewhere you know you can't return? Strike a match and light it up and let it burn. Strike a match and light it up and let it burn. Well, let it burn.
Yeah. So Let It Burn was a song I did not write. And that's a pretty cool story. How that song came about, I was writing with James LeBlanc. And James wrote Modern Day Bonnie and Clyde. And he had given me a CD of some songs, man, and that was like the first song on there. And at the time, I was like 22. I had my record deal with Capitol, and man, Let It Burn came across. And James, if you know James, he's from Muscle Shoals, like real soulful, bluesy kind of guy.
Yeah.
Shit that I like.
Yeah, yeah.
And that song came across, and I just flipped out over it. So I take it to the big wigs at Capitol, and nobody want to let me cut it because they want happy shit. They don't want slow and depressing songs in Nashville. Which, that's the stuff I like. That's the stuff that hits me.
Yeah.
So I never got to cut it. Same way with Lyric Street. When I went to Lyric Street, excuse me. When I went to Lyric Street, I pitched them that song. Nobody could get behind it. And it was just breaking my heart that I couldn't do this, you know. Didn't quite understand.
Yeah.
That's why I battled with those people for so long, you know.
Yeah.
They weren't letting me do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so cut to years later going in and cutting my own stuff. I was in with Moose Brown, and we had cut like 4 sides. And Moose is unbelievable, just crazy talented guy. And we had cut 4 sides, and I said, man, there's this song I've had in my back pocket for 10 years. I did not write it. And he just looked at it, he's like, well, you know what's good about being independent? You can do whatever the hell you want to. So we went in and just us two on acoustic guitars cut it, man, and I've still play the song every night.
I love that song.
Oh, me too.
It's a great, and your delivery on that song just slaps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that 50 cal we were shooting.
Yeah, no shit. If you've never shot a 50 caliber, please do it. That shit is nuts. I felt like I was going to have a nosebleed and a heart attack all at the same time when I pulled the trigger on that damn thing.
Well, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
But that song.
James, man, like I was telling you earlier, James's version of that song always killed me. Like I just always thought it was awesome, you know. But it's just, I just think it's a beautifully written song, and
Oh, it's a great one.
I mean, I had that thing in my back pocket for 10 years.
Yeah.
Wanting to cut it. And nobody let me do it.
Now, that brings up a good question. When you got people, so you and Ward write together a lot, and when you got people cutting the same song, do you guys keep that isolated from each other until it's done, or do you collaborate on it? Like, what's that process look like? Do
just
you
kind of do our own thing?
You do?
Yeah, own interpretation of every song, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, his version of Bad Apple's way different than my version.
Yeah, which I think is super cool.
Right.
Because it's, like you said, it's your interpretation of it.
Yeah.
And,
well, like Cody's version of Wounded Mind is way different than what I did it. You know?
Yeah.
I wanted a more piano, like that little lick. I wrote that on piano.
Yeah. That little intro lick.
I wrote that on piano. That's how the song kind of came about. And then me and Ward and Greg started writing that song, and then threw it to Cody. And I think Ward flew down to Texas and wrote the rest of it with Cody's how that worked.
Gotcha.
I think he wrote the second verse with Cody, and then Cody called and said he wanted to cut it. So, but you know, once again, his interpretation of the song's way different than mine.
Yeah.
You know, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, I think it's great because
I mean, you listen to those old Waylon records, and you listen to Waylon's version compared to Willie's version, and they all cut the same shit.
well, hell, everybody in Memphis cut the same damn song.
Right.
Elvis and Carl Perkins and all that. Hell yeah, I mean that's the way it's supposed to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is
There's nothing wrong with cutting other people's songs.
Oh yeah.
I just try to look for the best songs I can. Whether I wrote them or not, I never gave a shit.
Yeah.
If it's a cool ass song, I want to do it.
Hell yeah.
You know, I don't care.
Yeah, dig
I don't care
in.
if I wrote it. And there's a lot of artists that aren't like that.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, if I didn't write it, I ain't cutting it. You know, that never did appeal to me. Like,
No.
a good song's a good song.
you're squashing creativity. If you
Well,
do that.
I agree.
You
I agree with that.
You're just kind of killing it there. Now, when you write a song, do you have a hook first? Do you have the melody first? Do you?
I'm more of a melody guy.
Okay.
I love writing melodies. That's why I like writing with Ward, because Ward's a damn. I mean, you see what he posts, the shit he posts.
Yeah.
How he words stuff, and I mean, I can't do what he does with words. That's why I like writing with him, because I can kind of. He lets me create my own melody to what he's writing.
Yeah.
Which it works, you know.
Oh, hell yeah, it works.
A lot of writers, Steve Bogart, he was the same way. That guy would just sit there and write. I mean, he would just write pages of shit while I was working on a melody. And he would sit there and just think and write just pages, and then what do you think of this? And then he'd throw it back at me now. So, well, what if we did this instead of this? And that was that whole process. With me and him, and me and Ward are kind of the same way. He'll throw stuff at me, and then we'll change it at that point.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's shit he throws that don't need changing, but we'll tweak here and there, and that's how that works.
Yeah.
But that's what I like writing with Ward because he's always kind of let me do my own thing with melodies and stuff.
See, I get stuck a lot because I'll get a hook in my head and then try to write a damn song around that, and I just end up painting myself in the corner. It's like I can't.
It works both ways. I mean, sometimes if you got a good hook, we just start writing. We try to write towards it. Like Drew Parker, a buddy of mine, we wrote a couple weeks ago, and I had this hook that I'd had forever. And I'd had a piano melody, and we wrote the damn thing in an hour and a half, and it's my favorite thing I've written in a while. Now, don't tell me to sing it because I have no idea how to sing it yet. I hadn't rehearsed it a whole lot, but I've got a version of Drew singing it, and it's freaking killer, man. I love it.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of Drew, look him up. I mean, Drew's a monster singer. He's out doing shows with Luke Combs and Cody Johnson, those guys. He's big buddies with him, and Luke are like big buddies. Like, he just went to Key West with him to go write with him. But I play golf with Drew. He's a hack, but I kick his ass. But in golf, but he's a hell of a damn singer.
Speaking of which, all these, we've talked about it on the podcast a lot. All these independent guys all support each other, and work together, which I think is very refreshing to see. Who do you have on your playlist, or who's some new and up and coming people that you would say?
I've got, as far as that goes, I've got a real bad habit of not listening to many people. I listen to a lot of old shit.
Gotcha.
That's just what I am. Look, when I'm traveling, I'm listening to Willie, I'm listening to Motown, I'm listening, I just listen to old stuff. I got a real bad habit about not listening to new things. I mean, I know who a lot of these people are, and I have personal relationships with a lot of them that really cool, but I may not listen to their music. You know? It's just me. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a dick.
Yeah,
I like listening to old shit.
Yeah, I like listening to the old classics.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way I am. But man, but as far as supporting, getting people, man, we all try to help each other booking, because booking's hard. Yeah. As an independent artist, so like with like Brandy and Rye. Yep. Rye Davis and Brandy, like they helped me out with booking shows. Brandy Colt and Andrew Crawford, I did that little bluegrass thing with. We all try to help each other, man. And if you do West Ship, we all try to help each other. We try to do shows together, but it don't work out sometimes. But as far as booking, man, it's so hard out there, and we all try to get together. And if you ain't helping each other, you're swimming upstream. Oh yeah. I mean, it's too friggin' hard.
I tell everybody,
without having help.
I tell everybody, music is a team sport.
For sure.
I mean, and especially, obviously, with a band, you all got to work together. But even I'll go play some shows, and I'll let other guys use my PA or whatever if we're playing the same show. I'm like, hey guys, don't worry about, we're closing the show, so if you guys want to just use our gear and skedaddle or whatever, and it's been so good. And when I started in music, it was everybody butting heads, and there was,
you still get it.
You get that, but I think we're turning the tables to where everybody's starting to be like, hey, hell, let's just all work together. And
it makes life a hell of a lot easier.
Oh, hell yeah.
And there's guys out there, trying to book. I mean, Chris Edwards, who I'm with now, Mountain View Talent. Chris he just wanted to get in it, and Chris was doing a lot of during the pandemic, doing a lot of house shows. Yeah, he'd have me, he'd have Ward, he'd have Kayla Ray, and just several other artists. And Chris, we talking, and he's like, "Man, I want to get into booking and traveling around." So I was like his first artist, and he's trying to get it off the ground and going. But he's like, if you want me to book you, I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
Yep.
You need all the help you can get out here.
Yep.
It's hard. It's because I was booking it all myself, and booking's not my thing. I hate that shit.
I think everybody
don't
does.
like doing it. I just want to get to a point where I can just play shows, record my music, not have to do all the damn. I hate selling merch. I hate booking shows. Like I don't know. It's just something about it. I just hate doing it.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, I just want to play music, man. That's all I want to do. So, it's easier said than done.
Yeah, it's all that background shit that comes in.
Oh, no.
God,
it just frustrates the hell out of me. I get frustrated real easy. And I don't know. I don't want to be in a pissy mood when I'm out there playing music. I've always tried to stay in a good mood. I love talking to people. That's one of my favorite things out here is meeting new people and talking to people.
Yeah.
I mean, the music's one thing, but I've always, like when I got done, I'd sit out by the merch booth with Greg, and while he sold merch, and I'd just talk to everybody. I love talking to people.
Yeah.
But like me actually going over there and selling merch, like I'm going to screw something up, and then I'm going to get pissed off, and it's just going to ruin my night. So I just try to stay away from it. So now Chris, he'll come out and help me sell merch and shit like that.
Yeah.
He knows how I am too.
Yeah. Which that's one of the things you hear people say, we play music for free. It's everything else that goes around it that you got to pay us for. You know? It's all the traveling and then
right. Yeah.
Shit. Something's always breaking. You got to be a jack of all trades when you're in this business because you got to get pretty damn creative to get to the show or whatever in the hell.
I remember the first van we ever had with Ward, man, Jesus Christ, breaking down and doors. We were out in Montana or somewhere, and it was minus 20 degrees, and the sliding door wouldn't close. We had bungee cords, so we're going down the road, and it's just bungeeing back and forth, and we're freezing our asses off. And then he bought this big school bus looking thing, which was pretty cool, but it rode like a tank. And I remember we left, me and Ward and Greg, we left Gallatin, where I live, and our first show was in Eugene, Oregon.
Good Lord.
And we were leaving. We were going to leave on like a Tuesday to be there by Friday. Well, I get to mapping this shit out because we're driving it.
Yeah.
I call Ward, and I'm like, dude, if we don't leave on Monday, we ain't going to make it.
Good God, yeah.
So we left Monday about noon, I guess, and just us three. And we took off. We made it to sound check on Friday. That's how far.
Good God, it took you all week.
We would drive 9 hours, stop, eat, drink, hang out, get up, do it again, get up, do it. For 4 freaking days,
Oh, yeah.
And just made it to sound check.
And then that shit's cumulative, too, because your ass gets to hurt, and you've been sitting in that fucking seat for
brutal.
4 days.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Like, God almighty, I just want to get out of here.
It had shitty heat. We just had to stop and get the wool socks, and we'd sit back there and just, try to sleep on that damn thing. All three of us freezing.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. We had some big times out there.
Man, I think when shit goes wrong is when you have a lot of the most fun because you're all stressed out, and then somebody will say something funny or be like, fuck it, guys. We'll make it work.
If it's not costing you money.
Yeah.
As long as you're not having engine troubles and shit like that, which the first van we did, we had to something would screw up on it, and it would cost Ward $1,200, and that just, hell.
Yep.
Your trip's busted after that.
Yeah.
But it just kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah,
it's hard to buy new shit, and I don't know. It's just it's a hard business. It's no way to live, really. It's really not. It's a hard way to go, and more power to anybody who does it. People think it's a damn vacation, and it is far from it.
Oh yeah, it's work. I guess along the lines of that, if say there's a young artist that's watching this right now, what advice would you give them if they want to get into this business? Do you have anything that would be helpful to them?
Be nice. Don't be a fucking dick.
Don't be a dick.
Nobody likes a dick. This business is too hard.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my main thing. Like, this business is too hard just to be an asshole and not have anybody wanting to help you because you're a prick.
Yeah.
Like, no, that you need help.
Yeah.
So I've always tried to, I've tried to be nice to people as much as I can. I know sometimes I come off as a dick. I'm not really meaning to. But man, that's kind of stay true and
just
don't be a dick. Man.
Yeah, stay with what you do.
Stay with what you do. Stay in your lane. And there's nothing wrong with doing something different every now and then. And but if you want to be a true artist, don't let people sway you on shit that you really believe in.
Yeah. So
because it can happen really fast.
Oh yeah, and that's
because there's a lot of artists that have no idea what they want to be, and they can be pulled in 100 different directions. I was never that guy. Ward was never that guy. Like, Cody was definitely never that guy. Like, we do what we want to do, like it or not. It's just us.
So how did you come about that? Was it just always that, hey, I want to play this particular type of music and this is what I want to do? Or
I mean,
did you?
Like, I just, I grew up on William Whalen and Skinner and Marshall Tucker and Charlie Daniels and Hank Jr. And I mean, that's just what I like.
So you knew you wanted to be.
I tried to stay in that lane as far as what I was writing. Now, I have written different stuff, but I've always tried to stay in that lane.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. It's just stuff I like and stuff I feel like I can sing that goes with my voice. And, but if you want to stay true as an artist, don't try to let people sway you.
Yeah.
It can happen. There's a lot of fucking rats out there and there's a lot of weasels.
Yeah.
And,
out there trying to.
You can figure out who they are.
Yeah.
If you're a good judge of character, it ain't real hard to figure out who that shit is.
Yeah.
So, and Nashville's chock full of them motherfuckers. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many fucking weasels down there. I don't know. I get very disgruntled when they talk about Nashville, and they deserve it.
Yeah.
Not that they give a shit. They don't care what I think, but Nashville's just become such a fucking joke since when I was down there. I mean, that's been 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years ago. I mean, it's such a joke down there now. I just want no part of it. I don't even know why I brought it back up. It just,
Yeah. And that's the thing. And I think that's what's driving a lot of people to independent music is we're tired of hearing the same shit.
Absolutely.
We're sick and damn tired of hearing about you fucking tailgate and painting toenails or whatever in the hell they sing about. I don't even listen to radio anymore.
No, it's terrible.
On account of that.
Yeah.
And
it all just sounds the same. It's the same shit. But as long as, of course, I'm 43 years old. That shit that's on the radios, they're not looking for my demographic anyway.
Yeah.
It's all the 15 to 25-year-olds, college kids that are buying that shit. And as long as they keep buying it, they're going to keep playing it.
Yep.
And there's not much way to change it. Radio don't care.
No.
They don't give a damn.
No.
They're going to play what's hitting whether they like it or not.
Yeah. And I've got to have a song that's got some substance to it. That, like you talk about Wounded Mind. I bet you I've heard that song 200 times. And I hear something new every time I listen to it just because there's substance there.
Right.
You're talking about a difficult topic, you know?
Sure.
And there's substance. And there's people that either feel that or know somebody that's feeling that, and it's a damn connection to where.
Well, that's why I also go back to what I was saying earlier about that's a song that I could sing when I'm 70 years old.
Yeah,
I still feel it.
Yeah.
Body like a back road or whatever the fuck these dudes are singing. I don't feel that shit. I don't want to feel that shit.
Somebody rolled you out there in a damn wheelchair.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man, I can't.
I can't do it, man. The radio I don't even listen to radio anymore. I'm like you. I got my playlist shit, and that's what I listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
I listen to sports radio. Now I'm a big sports nut.
Yeah.
Big Vols fan.
Big Vols fan.
Hell yeah. can't wait for next week.
See, I can't. That's weird with me. I can't keep up with college football.
No,
which I don't do NFL anymore because I don't understand what in the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
This kickoff, I called my dad.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
I called my dad the other day. I was sitting up here. I was madder than hell. I said, "What in the hell are they doing on TV?"
It's dumber than shit.
He said, "It's a kickoff." I said, "What are they doing?" I said, "Half of them's on one end of the field, and you got a kicker over there. Looks like he farted in the back of the church or something." Like, what in the hell is going on with this shit? So I can't watch NFL, and I can't keep up with college because it changes so fast, you know.
Yeah.
I just had to give up on it.
I'm a
like, well,
huge
hell.
college football fan. I love it.
Yeah.
Very much. I'm a big Vols fan, so we play Ohio State next week in the first round of playoffs. I'd like to go, but it's about $500 or $600 a ticket.
Shoo, man, that's.
But man, I can't wait. I love it. I'm
Yep.
up with it. And plus, I like to gamble too. So
Yep.
I'm a pretty. Me and my dad, we've always been pretty big gamblers. Like, dude, I play a lot of cards. We go to casinos, and like, it's just what we've always done.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna lose my house or anything, but you know, I like the thrill of gambling. It gives me a little
Yeah.
fire in my belly.
Yeah. Every time
Whether I'm playing for 50 cents or, you know, $50.
Yeah.
Like, I just love it.
Every time I walk in a casino, I tell them I'm just going to donate $100 and call it even. How about that?
I'm trying to break him some bitches.
You're in there.
I want to shut the lights off.
You're like, you're going to be able to pay the power
Yeah,
bill.
exactly. It's never happened, but I have little stints, man. Like, hell, out on the road now, like, you know, you get those Caesars cards and points and shit. Hell, a lot of times it's cheap for me to stay. You know, I can get a room for free
Yeah.
at some of these casinos. So hell, I'll just go spend like casino and
Go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hell, I never even thought about that.
go
But
play
that,
some cards. It's just cheap hotel rooms sometimes.
Yeah.
You know. 'Cause
Yeah.
Hell, them damn you can find a Motel 6 on the side of the road. It'll cost you $120.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
It's nuts.
yeah.
It's crazy. Damn Roach motels, $130 and shit. So, you know, I'll go to casinos most of the time just to spend the night.
Yeah.
May not even gamble. I'll
Yeah.
just go to get a room. you
Go
know.
in there. They usually got good food in there, too.
Yeah,
so you
absolutely.
Get some damn good food.
Yeah.
Man, we've had just a hell of a time with you on the show and learning about you and this and that and the other. And we're going
We're gonna shoot some flamethrowers later.
we're going to let it get dark and shoot a flamethrower and see what happens there. But we certainly appreciate everybody watching this episode, and appreciate them supporting independent music and guys like Clint. You can catch him on Facebook. Website's clintpark.com. Is that right?
I think so.
Go on there.
ClintParkMusic.com. I think it's the website.
We'll put it on the thing.
Shit, I don't know. Once again, I'm terrible at this stuff.
Yeah, we'll put it on the thing, but please go out and buy his music, buy his merch. That means a whole lot to these artists because that's what gets them to be able to do what they do and create more music that we all love and want to listen to. So please go do that, and thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time at the Rock House Music Alliance. Y'all have a good one.